Oh, that's different. You're not a ZR1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. As you can tell, we are here at Blackout Tinting, of course. We are here to show you what happens when your XPEL gets damaged. There she is. I've only been without her for a day and it feels like a week. I freaking love this car. So anyway, guys, if you didn't see the previous video where I talked about XPEL and whether or not it was worth the $6,000 it costs to XPEL a car like this, I talked a little bit about this chip down here. So this whole area got kind of beat up from rocks. And like I said, this would all need repainted if it weren't for the XPEL. But one of the rocks got me pretty good and actually tore the XPEL a little bit. There's a little flap of XPEL there. And so we're just going to replace the quarter panel section and then get it re-ceramic coated. So I wanted to show you guys this because this is the process. This is basically what you have to do instead of repainting this thing. You just pull the film off, which is a little more difficult than it sounds, and then reapply a new piece. And then of course get ceramic coated over top of it. At some point in this video, I'm gonna have Josh tell us how much this is gonna cost because I actually don't know off the top of my head, but he will let us know exactly what you would pay to have this re-expelled and re-ceramic coated versus what you would pay to have that entire thing repainted. That's Patrick, guys.
Can I have your autograph?
No.
Why not?
Okay, yeah.
If not, you're a bad recruiter.
So Patrick is actually going to be the guy who gets to re-ceramic coat that piece that we're going to be replacing here. So as you guys know, the whole car is expelled and then ceramic coated on top of it. So yeah, when we remove this piece of XPEL, the ceramic coating goes with it. So it needs to be re-ceramic coated by that guy back there. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? This is a ZR1, sir. All right, guys, so this is the beginning part of the removal process. He's using a steamer to help aid in the process of pulling the adhesive off the XPEL. Like I said, it's gonna be kind of tedious, but it is still cheaper than repainting. There he is again. I don't know what it is about this car. It tracks spiders all over the place, but he's about to lose his home. You see that water beading now? It's pretty good stuff. Yeah. It's like it's ceramic coated or something. What's this now? Where are these things coming from? Get out of here. This car attracts bugs. I don't get it. Between the bugs on the back there and then the leaves in the front grille. If any of you out there were worried about this stuff coming off on its own, yeah, this should be a little bit of a testament to that. It's gonna stay stuck. But what I'm really impressed with is that this particular piece has been on here for about 1 year and 3 months now, and it is still perfectly clear. There's no yellowing, nothing to it, so it's not changing the color of the car in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know, that rear quarter panel is as fresh as a baby's bottom right there. It's basically, it's only seen like a week worth of actual sunlight. So this is the first time I've seen it in over 1 year. All right, so since you're here now, I wanted to ask you to remove an old piece like this size and reapply it. What would the charge for this be?
Roughly $300 to $400 depending on the size of the fender.
Okay. So for this,
probably 3.
So do you have any idea what it would cost to repaint this fender?
So no, because I'm not a body shop, but I mean, like if I had to guess, to do it right,
yeah.
This is where you run into the problem. If you're going to paint this, you need to blend to the rear bumper, and you'd also have to blend to the door and to the rocker. So you're repainting 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. To do it right, if you actually had to repaint the entire panel, $1,500 I would think.
Yeah.
But the big problem isn't the cost, the big problem is now you have aftermarket paint, which is never, I don't care what anybody says, it's never as durable.
Right.
It never looks perfect. It's close. Very good body shops can get it close. It's never perfect. So, you know, you want to try to save the OEM paint as much as you possibly can. So, less about the cost, more about how perfect you want the car to stay.
Right. You know. At the end of the day, the cost does factor in still. I mean, you're talking about still $1,000 less, maybe more.
Yeah. That'd be a good question to ask a
body shop.
Body guy. Yeah.
So I know somebody out there is a body shop guy. Let me know down below what you would charge to paint the fender, the bumper, the quarter, or the rocker, and the door. So you would have to blend all this in to make it look legit. The old XPEL is removed. Nothing was left. So basically this panel is pretty much a virgin panel at this point. Like I said, this paint has only seen the light of day maybe a week, and honestly that's probably more than what it really has. So Aaron is now going to put on the new piece of XPEL here. Obviously same stuff I had before. It's the XPEL Ultimate Plus, leaves the glossy finish behind, and then we're going to get it ceramic coated right afterwards. So basically the same stuff that was always on the car. Nothing new here. I'm going to show this real quick because I know you guys have all seen this before. You're probably hating me for how much I'm showing XPEL stuff, but I'm just so fascinated by this stuff, guys, because of all the protection it offers and how much money it can actually save you. And now, cue the music. And the final product, guys, other than having some stuff smeared on there, it is the exact same quality as the rest of the XPEL on the car. So we got that issue fixed. No more rock chips. It is ready to go. The next step, it's going to get ceramic coated again to match everything else. Then we have some other things coming for the car, guys, you're going to want to see for sure. So stay tuned. All right, guys, day number 2, pulling into Blackout Tinning's parking lot. And yeah, as usual, very busy, but check that beauty out. Yeah, can't say enough good things about those, but there's Chuck. He's doing some things. But yeah, check out this parking lot, guys. It's time. I think Josh needs to get a bigger parking lot here. He has got way too much work coming in, but that's a good thing in this case. Anyway, let's go in and find out what we're doing with the C7 today.
This short thread shifter,
yeah, you like that?
Yeah. As soon as I got it moved it out last week, I think I asked Josh. I was like, did he put a short thread? Because I don't remember it being.
Well, you know what's funny is that the same company that makes that, MGW, they also make firearms. And I always say that that thing's like a bolt action rifle because it literally, I find out it really is. Like,
that's pretty cool.
The car sat here for a little while that got done. We also had the windows tinted darker. So these are now 5% instead of the 20% that was on there. I know you guys, I've heard it all already. The car's black. I want it to look as good as possible when it's sitting still. If I drive this thing at night, which I hardly ever do anyway, I'll put the windows down. But during normal driving, it's gonna look a lot better like that. I mean, look at that. That thing is so sexy. Now the last thing I promised you guys was gonna be really cool is protection for the windshield. So I've gotten this question a lot on the channel, and everybody says, hey, does XPEL make any kind of protection for the windshield? The answer to that is no, but someone else does. And that's what we're gonna be installing today. I keep saying we, I mean them. I'm not doing any of this. I'm just here to film it. Obviously, this is Nate. He does a lot of the window tinting stuff. This is what he does. He's good at what he does. He's obviously pulling off the blackout tinting stuff because this stuff actually goes on the outside of the glass, obviously to protect from rock chips and everything. So what we're working with today is called ClearPlex. That's it, sitting there on the table with these 3 guys working. They're gonna go ahead and put this on here. Well, actually Nate and Josh are gonna do it. I'm gonna kind of film the process, guys. You've seen something similar. It's kind of a cross between XPEL and window tint and a bunch of other things that you know, well, I'll let Josh or Nate explain along the way. That's what I wanted to share with you guys here, because this is one of those things that pretty much every single car can benefit from. A little bit of protection for the windshield. So especially on the Corvette, that window is really curved, and it's a special kind of window when you have the heads-up display. So it's not something you want to have replaced often for those reasons and other reasons. I mean, ultimately, it's never gonna, I just feel like it's never gonna seal correctly again after factory. So yeah, this is what we do to maintain this gorgeousness. Obviously, first step is cleaning. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of music introduction, I guess, because there's not a lot to be said about this.
You gonna give me a good song?
Yeah. So in case you guys are wondering, yes, on top of this, this can be ceramic coated as well. So ultimately, there's a couple things you do and you don't want to do with this stuff. We're going to talk to Josh after this is all said and done so he can tell us what those things are. But for the meantime, we're just going to watch them install this thing. There is a protective layer on the ClearPlex. That's what he's going to be removing right now so they can go ahead and start the installation. All right, so here comes the protective layer. So the hood makes this very interesting, apparently, guys. Yep. Wipers can't be in the way. We could have probably taken the hood off. It's only a couple bolts, but
you can take the wipers off too, but it's a pain.
yeah, the wipers don't have to come off on this one because of how low they are anyway, but the hood could have come off probably easier. There's 4 bolts that holds that on, but they got it. I'm a fan of not disassembling things if we don't absolutely have to. All right, guys, so that is it. It is done. The ClearPlex is put on the car and it is fully protected now. So a lot of you guys have asked me about XPEL on the glass. This is basically the closest it gets for now. I don't know if that will ever change in the future, but ClearPlex does exactly the same kind of thing that XPEL does for the paint on your car, protects your windshield from rock chips and things like that. So I have Josh here, owner of Blackout. He's the one that installed it with Nate. He's gonna talk to us about why we would want to use ClearPlex on a car.
Thanks, Justin. So ClearPlex, like he said, stops rock chips. The reason that's really important to do on a windshield is for a variety of reasons. Number one, they can be very expensive. Some insurance policies do cover windshields for little or no deductible. We get that, but it's the same thing with needing a new paint job. If you replace the windshield, it's probably never going to fit quite as perfect as factory. There's some very great technicians out there that can do a very, very good job. But anytime you're replacing something that's that crucial, you run into problems here and there. So you want to avoid that. ClearPlex can help that. The other thing is you can always keep the windshield in perfect condition. So even if it's not necessarily a chip that breaks the windshield, you get those little chips the whole way across. I know my Gallardo has that. I don't have ClearPlex on it. And the car already had 20,000 miles on it when I bought it. But if you can keep that perfect glass, when the ClearPlex gets beat up, you can remove it and replace it. With that being said, ClearPlex should last on a car like this that's garage kept, driven on mostly nice days. I know he takes it out in the rain sometimes. He's not afraid of it melting, which is cool. But you should get at least a year, maybe even 2 years on a car that really never sees bad weather at all. You might get as much as 3 or 4 years out of the film. The next step would be to coat over top of the film, and that will help the hydrophobic effects so that way you're not using the wipers and constantly rubbing dirt against the film. So yeah, it's a good investment. Something like this car, you're looking at roughly $500 to have that installed, but hopefully that saves you from a lot of headaches in the future.
All right, guys, so just like he said there, I do plan on getting it ceramic coated because at the end of the day, the car was already ceramic coated with XPEL Fusion. I did have the glass originally ceramic coated, and I literally have not ever turned the windshield wipers on this car as it is. So if we can coat over top of the ClearPlex, it's gonna be just as good. But anyway, guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about the ClearPlex or blackout tinting, anything we talk about on this channel, shoot them in the comment section down below or send me an email, horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com, and I'll make sure you get any of your questions answered. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm gonna have loads of C7 and C8 Corvette content coming you are not gonna wanna miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.